Hello, and thank you for watching today's Corn Belt Regional Forecast. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Over the next 10 days, we're really going to watch a transition here across the Corn Belt to a much cooler pattern as we watch several shots of cooler air come in next week, taking us from this more seasonally appropriate air mass into, again, a cooler pattern as we head into the end of October. We're also going to watch for a couple systems sneaking through, bringing a chance for some rainfall across primarily eastern portions of the Corn Belt. The first going to be moving through on Saturday, delivering some light rain showers to parts of the central Corn Belt, and then a much larger storm system develops across the area on Monday and Tuesday. So you look at the 5 and 10-day forecast here, not much change across the Corn Belt from the 5-day forecast into the 10-day forecast. And that's, again, we head to a cooler pattern and also a bit of a drier pattern where perhaps some clipper systems try to sneak through here, but the most substantial precipitation going to be delivered here on Monday. Looking at the last 24 hours across the region, it has been rather quiet with high pressure sitting across the area. So again, a quiet 24 hours across the Corn Belt, and really the last 48 hours across the Corn Belt as well, with the big story being the nor'easter across parts of the northeastern U.S. Looking at the satellite picture then, here's a tropical disturbance we have ongoing right now. This could deliver some precipitation to eastern portions of Kentucky and Tennessee as we head into the weekend. We've also got this subtle front that's going to be making its way through the area Friday into Saturday as well. Looking at the radar picture, again, quiet across the Corn Belt for the day on Friday. Here's the front that could deliver some precipitation to parts of the area, mostly on Saturday, and then some precipitation starting to show up here from this tropical disturbance that's going to lift northeastward through the weekend as well. Looking at the temperatures then here on Friday morning, we've got some cooler temps dipping into parts of the eastern Corn Belt. Some frost advisories in this area where temperatures have dropped near or to the freezing mark. Temperatures in the lower to middle 30s for the most part across parts of Michigan into Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, and even into Kentucky and Tennessee with some freeze warnings across parts of central and lower Michigan. So here's a look at the temperatures, not only showing the cooler temps in the east. We'll also be able to pick out that front that extends from a low in Ontario that delivers the chance for some rain late tonight into the day on Saturday across parts of the central and eastern Corn Belt. So heading through Friday afternoon, getting into Saturday, you see this little wind shift right here. And that, again, that's what's going to deliver that chance for just some light rain across primarily this area here late Friday night into the day on Saturday. We then see temperatures quickly rebound on the backside. If I play this out here, we're going to start to see southerly flow beginning to feed into this new area of low pressure developing across the northern plains. That's going to be our much bigger storm system as we get into the day on Friday. Cooler air coming in on the backside there. Let's go ahead and take a look then. We'll watch three things. We're going to watch the tropical disturbance lift off to the northeast, perhaps bringing some rain to areas east of that line. We'll watch this front kind of move through the central U.S., bringing chances for rain showers across this area late Friday into Saturday. We'll then watch the large area of low pressure develop across the northern plains as we get into early Monday. Take the drawings off. Let's go ahead and play this out. We'll stop this here. We are at 3 p.m. on Friday. Taking this into Friday night, still quiet across the Corn Belt, a quiet Friday. As we head into the overnight, though, early into Saturday, starting to see a couple things. First, this front beginning to light up here across parts of Kansas into Missouri and Iowa and Wisconsin. We're starting to see the tropical low here begin to move off to the northeast as well. Taking this into Saturday afternoon now. We are in mid-afternoon on Saturday. This front continuing to produce some light rain showers from Missouri into Wisconsin. Now starting to see some precipitation across eastern portions of Kentucky and Tennessee as you head into Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. Heading into Saturday night, this front really begins to wash out. We start to lose that precipitation, so central and eastern portions of Illinois into Michigan perhaps missing out entirely on this one. We're already, though, starting to see this area of low pressure develop across the northern plains. You're seeing it right here. The isobar is beginning to stack up, starting to see some precipitation develop across the area early Saturday morning. And unfortunately, in North Dakota, perhaps enough cold air coming in here to deliver some light snow. Now, the good news is not expecting a blizzard on the levels that we saw a week ago, but still, it's just a little early to be dealing with snow every week. So bad news here is that we may see some snowflakes from this system here on Monday. The good news is perhaps no significant accumulations, maybe dealing with a trace or a couple of inches. We'll have to watch this over the next couple of days to see how significant this snow chance is really going to be. We'll take a longer look at that storm system here in a moment, but just taking a quick look at the total accumulated precipitation forecast from our high-resolution NAM model. This highlights the front here that makes its way through Friday night into Saturday, again showing it kind of washing it out as it heads into Illinois and then east of Lake Michigan there. Also looking at the tropical precipitation here falling again across eastern Kentucky and Tennessee, largely missing out on the two states there as it makes its way off to the northeast to the east, and then starting to pick up some of the precipitation across the Dakotas. That will become more widespread across this region as we head into Monday. So now let's look at the upper level pattern just briefly to kind of diagnose what's happening here. Here's the first trough that kind of subtly makes its way through. That is our late Friday into Saturday weather maker across the central Corn Belt. Let's take this into the next few days though, bringing it back to Friday, watching this first trough make its way out and kind of wash out. Now we're watching a much stronger wave push into the central plains. This is Sunday morning, and that is what is going to trigger the development of an area of low pressure at the surface here across the northern plains that will intensify and lift off to the northeast as we head into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. This trough moves through. Look at that. Very well-defined trough moving through here early in the week. Once that gets out of here, we watch another reinforcing shot come in from the northwest. This could deliver some more precipitation to parts of the area, maybe even some snow to the northern plains. But then I just want to show you where we're headed here. The last week of October, getting into October 26th now. And look at the pattern. This is something we haven't seen here for a little while. A ridge in the east and a trough in the a ridge in the west and a trough in the east. And this is a cooler pattern across the eastern half of the U.S. And so that looks like where we're headed here in the last week of October. Now we'll take a better look at the Monday system, kind of diagnosing the timing here. We'll start this loop that we're looking at the GFS precipitation type loop, watching first the Saturday system sneak through, as well as the tropical low, again highlighting our late Friday into Saturday precipitation. Now we get into Sunday. This area of low pressure is beginning to develop and quickly move off to the east and then eventually the northeast as it intensifies and eventually matures and then begins to decay as we get into Tuesday. So timing this out, precipitation beginning across the Dakotas here, perhaps as early as Saturday night into Sunday morning, perhaps seeing some light snow falling across the Dakotas again during the day on Sunday. Not expecting any significant accumulation, but this is going to be a windy, cold rain with some snow mixing in here and an overall just incredibly unpleasant Sunday and Monday across the upper Midwest from the Dakotas into Minnesota. Now looking at the cold front that extends off to the south here, that's going to bring some showers and storms to Wisconsin, Illinois, parts of eastern Missouri, and then getting into the eastern Corn Belt as we get into Monday afternoon. So timing the cold front right now, it looks like the rain would be widespread from Minnesota into Wisconsin, and then down into the Gulf Coast to Texas here Monday morning. As we head into the mid-afternoon, this cold front moves very rapidly. By Monday afternoon, Monday evening, the front getting off to the east, we're dealing with more widespread showers and storms from Michigan into, these things would be moving from Indiana into Ohio and across Kentucky and Tennessee by the time we get to Monday evening. And then by the time we wake up on Tuesday, this front has cleared the area. So the entire eastern Corn Belt should be dry and clear precipitation by the time we get to midday on Tuesday. Now still dealing with some of the impacts from this though, especially across the northern plains into the upper Midwest. And that is going to be in the form here Tuesday with still some strong winds, perhaps some precipitation moving across parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, and perhaps some light snow mixing in with that as well, with colder air coming in on the backside. So that kind of times out the Monday and Tuesday storm system, and that is our big one that we'll be watching. Then we see some energy sneak through on the backside here, perhaps delivering some light snow as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. A lot of cold air coming in from this pattern right here. And again, this plunges us into what's likely going to be a cooler pattern during the last week of October. So let's take a look at a couple things here. The probability of 3 inches or more accumulating here with snow from this system. Again, rather low probability, but non-zero across the northern plains into the upper Midwest. Also going to be dealing with some gusty winds as we watch this storm system ramp up here on Monday. We'll watch this here. You see the low developing Sunday evening now across the Dakotas. Strong winds for the day on Sunday and Monday across a huge chunk of the Corn Belt. Essentially the entire Corn Belt going to be dealing with very breezy conditions on Monday. Widespread area here with winds probably gusting over 30 miles per hour coming in on the backside of this area of low pressure. Strong winds in advance of the area of low pressure. That's what brings in the warmer temperatures here for the weekend across a big chunk of the Corn Belt. Here we'll look at the temperature pattern then. This will just kind of tie it all together, watching the first weak front swing through. Here's the front Monday, and then some reinforcing shots coming in mid to late week, and that is what, again, I'm just going to play this out. You're seeing a lot of colder temperatures as we get into the end of October across the eastern two-thirds of the country, across really a big chunk of the Corn Belt, potentially dealing with freezing temperatures as we head into the end of October. Taking a look at high temperatures then, just getting us through the weekend as we wrap this video up. Highs for the day on Friday in the 50s across the Dakotas, 70s and 80s across the Central Plains, with 60s and 50s across the Great Lakes into the eastern Corn Belt for the day on Friday. Saturday, we'll look at high temperatures reaching the 50s and 60s widespread across the area. Sunday, watching cooler air begin to filter in across the northern plains. We'll really see the storm system outlined well with our Monday temperatures. Again, warm air advection in advance of this, keeping temperatures in the 70s across the eastern Corn Belt, with cooler temperatures coming in on the backside in the 40s and 50s for the day on Monday. And then behind the front, high temperatures on Tuesday, widespread in the 40s and 50s. Taking a look at low temperatures then, Friday we're watching those cooler temperatures in the eastern Corn Belt. We'll go ahead and play this out as well, looking at overnight lows as we head through the weekend. Watching everyone pretty much above freezing here, except the far west as we head into Saturday night, or Friday night into Saturday morning, I apologize. This will be Saturday night into Sunday morning, above freezing for the entire Corn Belt. Monday, we're going to start to watch some of those cooler temperatures come in from the west. So Monday, perhaps waking up below freezing along and west of this line here, the far western high plains. But then by the time we get to Tuesday, freezing temperatures starting to creep into the Corn Belt before we get to Wednesday morning, watching parts of the northern plains into the upper Midwest drop below freezing as well. Now remember, this is a pattern that it looks like this is where we're headed, so freezing temperatures perhaps becoming more widespread across a bigger chunk of the Corn Belt by the time we get to the end of the month. Now, as always, Eric Snodgrass will have an in-depth look into the future here at the evolution of the next 1 to 2 weeks in our Monday morning ag forecast video, and I'll be back to talk about the Corn Belt Tuesday morning. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend.